given the fact that a lot of focus in this visit has also been on the initiative on critical and emerging technologies, and we've been hearing a lot, John, about the ISET initiative. When does that take a tangible shape? When there is actually something on the table which is very here and now, which otherwise, in the absence of the initiative on critical and emerging technologies, wouldn't have been made possible. So is there something likely on the ISET initiative which we've been hearing so much about as well?
Well, another great question. The F-414 engine, that transfer of technology is the first increment of what could come down the line. As your previous engagements on this particular forum have mentioned, that governmental approval process through Congress has got to go through. And I think most on the left and right realize the value of this relationship with India, which would propel it potentially into further transfers of technology. But it is incumbent on both India and the United States to prove to their own governments, their own people, that this relationship and this risk that the United States is taking with technology, for example, is worth making with India. And what that would mean is some kind of equal, I would say, initiative on the Indian government to show how much they value the relationship. There are several different ways of doing that, and my colleague and I, Jeff Smith, had touched on that in a recent piece we wrote, and that's about the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and how we could actually further our relationship by having, for example, a joint maritime domain awareness center put up on those islands to further our collective understanding of what the Chinese government is doing in the region. When the United States government, when the Congress actually sees India moving in a like direction to expand the relationship, I think you'll see much more coming on.
Maritime Command and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands will have an important role to play in that. But do you see, Ambassador Bambawale, the possibility of inviting the Americans in a structured way, not for war games, because in any case, India and the United States are now doing more war games than with any other country, but as part of that Maritime Command, because India has never wanted foreign troops, most definitely not US troops on Indian soil. Now, some of these expectations that are natural to rise in DC as they make these high-end technologies open for India, is that something that you think this Indian government, because the Prime Minister did speak about letting go of the hesitations of the past, but how far would he be willing to travel? Would it be okay, in your view, for the Foreign Service, for the Ministry of External Affairs to explore the possibility of having American Navy carriers or American Navy personnel, Marine commandos on an Indian base?
Well, Rahul, the answer to that question is one, that India and the United States are working in the area of maritime domain awareness. It will have to be a steady progression up the ladder. We're moving in that direction. But secondly, also what is important is that the command in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands is also still a work in progress. So my answer would be not in the immediate future, but we don't know what will come several years down this turnpike. Let's move ahead together, let's work together, let's get into the habit of working together, which is already much better than it was, say, way back in the year 2000. So it's something which is further down the turnpike. It's not something which is round the corner.